Hello and welcome back to Might and Magic 2 Gates to Another World. One thing I want to note before I start things about my recording schedule. One thing is that I will not be able to upload things as rapidly as I used to with Heroes Chronicles. There are a few reasons for that, the main one being that the music that I'm pretty sure you're hearing right now is actually not in the game itself, but I have to add it in post-production, because this game does not have any music apart from the intro tune that you heard in the first video. So adding things like that takes a lot of time, like at least as much time as it takes to record an episode, so yeah. So it will probably be uploaded every second day or so. Also that I'm also very busy because of my field practices. They're all this month, so that's another reason why I may not be able to upload things as often. Right, and another thing I wanted to talk right now, before I start the game, is about the graphical settings for this application. Also, I probably want to make this on top. Might and Magic 2, unlike Might and Magic 1 Secret of the Inner Sanctum, actually has a few different renderers available, and all of them DOSBox can emulate quite well. Now, there are 5 of them, if I recall correctly. There is the old CGA that was used in, by default in Secret of the Inner Sanctum. There's EGA, also available in Secret of the Inner Sanctum. It's a lot better, and pretty much what I would say is one of the best renderers for this. There is the Hercules renderer, which is black and white, so it's horrible. And CGA is blue and it's horrible. Then there's Tandy, that you are seeing right now. And there is VGA. And I'd say that EGA, Tandy, and VGA are all pretty much the same, but there might be slight differences, so I'm going to give all of them a try. And I want your opinion on this. Which one of those renderers look the best? I will note all of that information in the description of each video, so you could see which one was which one was used in which recording, and so you could give your opinions on this. Right. So let's do something with this now, I guess. This video will also not have a whole lot of action, because it will be mostly me explaining how things work in this game. First of all, I'm not sure what copy player disk here does. And about book 2 is the credits. We will show that off once we are done with the game, I guess. And disc 2 is something that we don't care about, because this is both discs in one, so yeah, your FC is correct pretty much. So let's start the game, and instead of creating new characters, well, we can view the characters. You can see that there are some preset characters: Sir Felgar, Turwin III, Sure Voila, Jean Eric, Cassandra, and the Hermit. We're not going to play as them. Yeah, that's because there is an option to transfer characters, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. Also, the animation in the transfer character screen is quite interesting. Tandy! You're not rendering things correctly. Right, so, case in point about the renderers. Apparently Tandy does not render that part correctly. But well, we'll see what else things can render and cannot render once we actually record things. So this will be in EGA now. So let's do this again. Transfer characters. Yep. That's great. The thing is that in Secret of the Inner Sanctum, it was the first game in the series, so they were all like, let's make this game kind of sort of serious, so they went with that. And starting from Might and Magic 2 Gates to Another World, they kind of made things a lot more comedic. And you will see that a lot in this game, and in also Might and Magic 3, Isles of Terra, and Might and Magic 4 and 5, World of Xen. And after that they went back to being serious. But that's for another time. So anyway, to transfer an entire roster of Might and Magic 1 characters, type the full path name of the roster DTA file from Might and Magic 1 Disk 2. I have mounted it as a virtual drive on the D-Disk. Really? I need to write this in caps. Roster.dta. Save new roster? Sure. And here we go. We have everything from Might and Magic 1. In fact, yeah, it even includes the characters that were originally in Might and Magic 1, such as Crag the Hack. So that's interesting. Also the other characters that I created and never used. Right. So, I guess I can just go over what things mean. So let's start with, yes, from the way I did it in Secret of the Inner Sanctum. Let's start with Aragorn. Male neutral human knight, level 7. Yes, we start right at level 7, which is lower than we actually had in Might and Magic 1, but it's still kind of decent. Might is 20, intellect is 20, personality is 18, endurance is 20, speed is 20, accuracy is 20, luck is 17. Those are good stats. What do others start with, I wonder? Yeah, they start with lower stats, but not that much lower, so I guess it's easier to gain stats here then. Hit points is 70, speed is... spell points is 0, AC is 0. Age is 19, experience is 48,000, gold is 1,000, gems is 100, food 40, condition is good, thievery 0%, of course. Right, so next is Boromir. He also has pretty much everything with stats of 20. It's a nice thing because I think that's the best you could get by just rolling things randomly. And of course everyone else starts at level 1 while we start at level 7. HP is 63, spell points are 42. AC 0. What is a cell? I never really found that out. Age is 18, experience 64,000, 1,000 gold, 100 gems, 40 food, condition good, nothing in the backpack. And next is Legolas, R. No, his stats are quite a bit lower. I guess it just gets capped at 20 or something? HP is 56, spell points 42, age 18, experience 64,000. So some of the stats have been quite well saved. Gold, of course, did not get saved at all. Was reset. Hit points, spell points were reset, I think. Next, Shoggoth. Level 7 again. Stats close to 20, but not all of them. Especially intellect, because yeah, who needs intellect? Points 56. Thievery is at 36%. That's an okay stat, I guess. Age of 19, experience 48,000, and everything else is the same. Then Gandalf. Yes, not a whole lot of accuracy, not a whole lot of personality, but of course, intellect is a high stat. SL means spell level, of course. Yeah, and everything else is the same. I guess we also got cured of any... Oh, did I cure everyone of unnatural aging? Maybe. I don't recall right now. Frodo has pretty much everything at 20 except for accuracy and luck. Spell level 4. And 56 56 hit points, 42 spell points. Yes. We are kind of good to go. Level 7 is pretty good. And let's go to town. Of course, everyone starts at the first town, which is called Middlegate. And just like before, I'm going to add the same party as we had last time. So it's Aragorn, Boromir, then it was who? It was Legolas, Shoggoth, Gandalf, and Frodo. Yes, and Z to exit, not X, for some strange reason. Well, I guess that's because X is to view another character. And so, we have arrived at the town of Middlegate, on Kron. So as you already saw from these character screens, it's quite clear that this game uses the same engine as Might and Magic 1, because everything is still oriented in pretty much the same way. Even the keys to do things are pretty much the same. Quick ref, equip, share, cast, and all that thing. The game world is also pretty much the same. What else? Yeah, that's our quick ref. Everyone is good. Yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to note here is spells. They have been changed a bit from the last time that you saw them, if you saw them at all. So let's go over the spells that we already have. Now in the first game, once you gain a spell level, you would automatically gain all of the spells in that level. Not so in this game. You have to buy your spells, and each of them individually. Some of them you also have to find. So yeah, things. So when you press cast, you actually get a pretty interesting table here, showing exactly what spells you have or don't have. So let's go over what we have right now. That's not the manual. That's the manual. Let me put this again on top. And yes, so this is a sorcerer spell type, also known as elemental. So we have the spell 1-2, As you may recall from the first game, it is Detect Magic. Oh, wait a minute. I have the wrong... Right, now I have the one that I needed. But yes, that is correct, that the spell, Sorcerer Spell 1-2, is still Detect Magic. It costs 1 spell point, can be cast at any time. No, wait, costs 1 spell point, it can be cast only in non-combat situations. Can be used on the items in Spellcaster's backpack. The description reads, reveals any magical items in caster's backpack, and notes the number of magical charges remaining in any item which must be charged for use. Also detects any magic surrounding or inside a chest. So you can use that to find out if a chest is trapped or not. So that's quite interesting. Actually, what happens if I press 1? Yeah, same thing. Also, note this rotating thing here. I think it was kind of a standard thing for DOS programs, and I know it's used in some command line programs in Linux. It, well, shows that there is something in progress. So yeah, it's a nice touch. Shows that you need to input something here. Right, so another spell that we have is 1-4, which is Flame Arrow. Costs 1 spell point, used in combat on 1 monster. Description reads, send a burning shaft into the monster, inflicting 2 to 8 points of fire damage, unless monster is immune to fire. Spell level 1, number 5, is Light. Costs 1 spell point. A non-combat spell, works on the entire party. Gives the party 1 light factor, sufficient to light a single darkened square. Multiple light spells can be cast to accumulate light factors. That's interesting. It says that a single darkened square. I wonder if that means that there's no more darkness in this game. Like, dungeon-wide darkness. Well, we'll see that later, I guess. Another spell that we have is 1-6. It's Location. Costs 1 spell point. Non-combat. Works on the entire party. The description reads, gives precise information on party's location. Shows a map of current 16-on-16 area that the party has mapped, and shows your present location on that map. May be critical when party is lost or magically transported. In general, this spell is the key to successful mapping. Now, one thing that this description does not tell you is that the location actually gives you a map of, well, the auto map brings it up. And the game does have an auto mapping feature, even though it's not really noted inside the game. It's all there in the manual. However, if you want to see the auto map, you have to pay 1 spell point to cast Location, which is kind of silly. You also have to have a special skill in order to have it actually work and not just give you the coordinates. Right. There are no other spells that we have in level 1. The ones that we still don't have are Awaken, Energy Blast, and Sleep. Going to level 2, spell 2-2 is Electric Arrow. Can be cast in combat, costs 2 spell points, works on a single monster. Electrocutes a monster, inflicting 4 to 16 damage points, unless monster is immune to electrical attack. Yes, so that's the same. Level 2-4 is Jump. Again, from the first game. Costs 2 spell points, cannot be used in combat, works on the entire party. Moves the party 2 squares forward, providing there are no magical obstructions, such as force fields, in the way. And then we have 2-5, which is Levitate. 2 spell points, non-combat, works on the entire party. Raises all characters above ground level, protecting them from various dangers for 1 day. So this was changed. It no longer works until you rest. It works for a day. It's kind of too bad, but I don't think it matters that much. Because, well, it's not common for it to be required for more than a day, so yeah. I also hope that this does not mean that it dissipates every time a day changes, because if you cast like a minute before that, then you get things and it suddenly doesn't work. But yeah. Let's see, next up that we have is level 3 already. The things that we don't have in level 2 are Eagle Eye, which is a new spell. Then Identify Monster, which I don't think I'll even get. Then is Lloyd's Beacon, another new spell, but it is extremely useful. More about that later. And Protection from Magic. Wow, it's level 2. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. But yeah. Let's go to level 3. Spells of level 3. We have 3-2, which is Fly. Non-combat outdoors. Works on the entire party. Grants magical flight to all characters, allowing the party as a whole to move to any other outdoor area. The party will land in the safest square in that area. So yes, we already have access to Fly, which is a very, very good level, very good spell. And it's also level 3 now. Next that we have is 3-3, which is Invisibility. Costs 3 spell points, combat, works on the entire party. Drops a cloak of invisibility over all characters, greatly decreasing the monster's chances of hitting them. Yep, works the same way as it did in the previous game. Then 3-5 is Web. Costs 3 spell points and 3 gems. Works in combat and not in hand-to-hand combat. Works on 4 monsters plus 1 monster for each level of the caster. Oh, and that actually makes it quite useful then. Wraps monsters in a supernatural web, preventing them from fighting for the duration of combat or until they escape. That's one thing that I want to note here. In Might and Magic 1, there was a set amount of monsters that could be in combat at any given time. In Might and Magic 2, there is no longer that. You now can have mobs of monsters up to 255. So things like Web can actually be quite useful in this case. Like in Might and Magic 1. And is there anything else? No, there's nothing else that we can have. The spells that we don't have and we can learn is Acid Stream. A new one, I would say. Then 4 is Lightning Bolt, of course, the same one. 6 is Wizard Eye. A new spell. And there is no 7. And level 4, we have 4-4, which is Guard Dog. Works on the entire party, non-combat, 4 spell points. Places a supernatural guard over party, preventing surprise attacks for 1 day. Yep, works pretty much the same way, except for that 1 day part. Though that could be a problem, as I see it right now. Okay, so 5-4 is Shield. Works on the entire party. In combat, costs 4 spell points. Creates an invisible shield which surrounds the party and protects all characters from most missile weapons for the duration of combat. Again, very useful when facing mobs. And for 6 is Time Distortion. 4 spell points and 3 gems. Works on the entire party during the combat. Creates a warp in time that enables the party to retreat safely from most battles. Yes, we already have Time Distortion! This makes the game extremely easier compared to starting off at 0. Right, so that was what Gandalf has. I wonder what Legolas has. He doesn't have 1, 3, and 7. And yes, same thing, so. And Legolas only has level 1 spells. Boromir, you have also only level 1 spells. Oh, fair enough. I think in this game you get spell levels faster than in than in Secret of the Inner Sanctum, because you level up quite a lot faster. Okay, so let's see what Frodo has. Clerical spells, also known as self-spells. Level 1. Level 1, 3. Bless. 1 spell point in combat on the entire party. Increases the accuracy with which all characters fight for the duration of combat. Very useful. 1, 4. First Aid. Costs 1 spell point anytime on 1 character. Heals minor battle wounds, restoring 8 hit points to that character. Again, the same thing as in the last game. 1, 5 is Light. Non-combat, 1 spell point, works on the entire party. Gives the party 1 light factor, same thing as the other spell in Elemental Magics. Right, then 1, 5... 1, 5 is light, yes. 1, 7, Turn Undead. Costs 1 spell point, combat. Works on all undead monsters. Destroys some or all undead monsters, depending on caster's experience level and monster's power level. Very useful once more. And I don't know if people who are evil can use that in this game or not. What's more? Level 2. Oh wait, things that we don't have in level 1 are Apparition, 1, 1. 1, 2 is Awaken. And 1, 6 is Power Cure. Then, spell level 2, 2, 1 is Cure Wounds. 2 spell points anytime on a character. Cures more serious wounds, restoring 15 hit points to the character. So, same thing, it's not as efficient as casting First Aid 2 times. But it does save you one turn, so it makes sense to cast Cure Wounds. Then 1, 2. Wait, 2, 2. I mean something we don't have. So 2, 4 is Pain. A new spell apparently. Costs 2 spell points used in combat. On 1 monster that is not undead, cripples the monster with pain, inflicting 2 to 16 damage points, unless the monster is immune to pain. Immune to pain, that sounds interesting. Right. Next one that we have is 2, 6, which is Silence. Costs 2 spell points, works in combat, on 4 monsters, plus 1 per level. Huh. Again, very interesting. That's kind of crowd control. Prevents the monsters from casting spells for the duration of combat, or until they overcome the spell. Again, I can see this coming in handy. Okay, and what we don't have in level 2 is 2, 2, which is Heroism. to 3, which is Nature's Gate, a new spell here. To 5, Protection from Elements. Apparently clerics can cast that too. Then to 7, which is Weaken. Okay, so let's move on to level 3. Here we have 3-2. Create Food. Costs 3 spell points and 2 gems. Non-combat. The object is the spellcaster. Adds 8 food units to caster's food supply. Caster may then distribute food among other party members if he or she desires. So this was bumped from 6 food to 8 food, and there is a reason for that, which I will go over a bit later. Then we have 3-3, which is Cure Poison. 3 spell points anytime on 1 character. Flushes poison out of a character's system, instantaneously removing the poison condition. Not bad. Same thing in the first game. And also we have 3-4, which is Immobilize. Costs 3 spell points in combat. Works on 5 monsters. Immobilizes any monster affected. Yeah, so apparently that's a new spell. I can see that being quite useful. And we don't have anything else. So what we lack level 3 is 3-1 Cold Ray, 3-5 Lasting Light, 3-6 Walk on Water, and that's it. And lastly, Clerical Spells level 4. We have 4-1 Acid Spray. 4 spell points and 3 gems. Combat not in hand-to-hand. On 3 monsters, sprays a corrosive stream of acid, inflicting 6 to 60 points of damage, unless immune to acid. Then we have for 3, Cure Disease. Anytime on 1 character for 4 spell points. Restores full health to sick character, instantaneously removing the disease condition. Yep, same thing as in the last game. Then 4, 5, yes. Surface. Costs 4 spell points. Works in non-combat for the entire party. Instantly transports all party members from an underground location to ground surface. Again, very, very useful. What we don't have in level 4 are Air Transmutation, Restore Alignment, and Holy Bonus. Some of them new, some of them are not new. Right. So, what else? I don't think I want to start doing anything right now. Also because I think the roster is not exactly what it should be. A jolly old innkeeper waves his quill in the air as he asks, "Will you sign the registry?" Sure. So the thing that I want to go over, since we have a bit of time left, is, as you can see here, there is a line that says space for hirelings. If you press space, you see something that tells you hirelings, and there is nothing here right now. Hirelings are extra party members that you can have, and the catch is that you have to pay them constantly. And the pay depends on their level, so if you level them up, you need to pay more. This makes Gift Another World one of the 2 games that allow you to have up to 8 characters in a party, which is a lot. Yeah, so there is really no good reason not to have at least some hirelings in your party once you actually find them. So we will be having that. I have a few hirelings in mind that I might want to get. The problem with the party as it is now is that all of them are male, and from what I recall, there are things that you cannot really do with only male party. I think some of the enemies are immune to male damage, however silly that may sound, and the other ones are immune to female attacks, so I will definitely want to get a few female hirelings. Then there are two new classes in this game. There is a ninja and there is a barbarian. Barbarian is essentially something like a knight, except that barbarians don't have as much AC and they have a lot more HP. So that balances things out, I guess. The ninja is a cross between a robber and a knight, in that they are better fighters and they can also open locks, but they're not as good as either of them. So I think I might want to get a barbarian. I don't think I'll bother with ninja because their skills would be very redundant. And I think I want ultimately to get another cleric. Things I will explain sometime later on. Yeah. So my time is pretty much up right now. So that will be all for now. Next time we'll have some more things to actually do and to see. So see you all next time. Later.